Hello! Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite kinds of historical embroidery, and that is the cabinets and caskets of 17th century English schoolgirls. I bet you're like, what are those? Which, good question. They look like these. Hello. Nice, right? These objects are boxes, usually about the size of a shoebox, that you would put on top of a table, and they would be covered with embroidery on usually all sides. These objects were made by girls, usually teenagers who were nearing the end of their needlework education, and they were primarily made in England in the period between about 1650 and 1680 or 90, although over that period they changed shape quite a lot. It's hard to comprehend that these objects are entirely covered with embroidery and that they were made by teenage girls, so I'll show you some more images of this particular object, which is a cabinet in the collection of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, so you can see the sorts of things I'm talking about. So as you see, these objects are embroidered on all sides. This one is covered in biblical scenes, and this is the back. This is one of the sides. Hey. And this is another one of the sides. Hello. These sorts of boxes open in several ways. You can see this box with its openings here. And they held things like bits of jewelry, letters, writing supplies, including ink and pounce, all sorts of little trinkets. They are basically a girl's treasure chest, a treasure box, a way to possess all of her most precious items. At the beginning of this, I mentioned that the objects are called both cabinets and caskets. So I should say that a cabinet opens both from the top and from front-facing doors, while a casket just opens from the top. It doesn't have doors that kind of move outwards. And this is an example of a casket rather than a cabinet. This casket is in the collection of the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it's very famous. It was made by a girl named Martha Edlin when she was a young teenager, and it's part of a large group of surviving needlework made by Martha throughout her teenage years. This interior, which is the Met box again, is pretty typical of these cabinets and caskets. They usually have salmon pink colored interiors of satin or velvet, and they have containers and all sorts of compartments, including secret compartments. So these sorts of things can lift up, pull out, so you can have all sorts of little nooks that only you, the maker or the owner of the box, could know about. Some surviving cabinets and caskets have very special interiors like this one at the V&A, which has a little garden inside. And this is one of my all-time favorites. It's in the Royal Collection Trust, and it has a little shepherdess sitting with her sheep on top. I love these objects because they give us insight into the lives of teenage girls who were making embroidery more than 350 years ago.